Okay, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Wow, this one is actually remarkably well acted. And ironically, with it being Rise of the Planet of the Apes, you would think there'd be a lot more, I'd say, ape-on-human violence, but primarily what you get in a lot of this is James Franco is a brilliant scientist who's working on a cure that potentially could cure Alzheimer's, so looking at helping to regenerate brain cells. There's one of the chimps he's been working on has showed some remarkably, amazing results. So during the time when he's presenting to the board, they decide to try to bring that chimpanzee out. Ironically, they seem to use chimps and apes interchangeably. That's something that gets kind of aggravating because they're slightly different. But and as they go to bring the chimp out, she just starts getting really bizarre and agitated and very, very violent. They find out after she essentially ruins the board meeting that she gave birth. And that's where, when you see in the commercials, you see James Franco with a smaller chimpanzee. Now, the chimpanzee actually inherited some of the enhanced cognitive abilities, and is remarkably smart. Is very, very, very intelligent. And as all the other ones were killed, James Franco decides, you know what? I'll keep this one. I'll care for it. I'll do what I can. Then you find the reason why James Franco was doing this is because his father, played beautifully by John Lithgow, has Alzheimer's. So he's trying to find the cure to essentially help save his dad, while at the same time, Caesar, who's cognitively aware at the age of 3, is trying to figure out how he fits into things. He has an altercation, which leads him going to a primate house. So bulk of this movie is kind of that fish out of water pseudo prison scenario. Because Caesar's got clothes, is thinking, I can just shake hands. So trying to use human characteristics inside the ape world. Or I guess as a primate, lets you practically have chimpanzees, you have some orangutans, you have a couple of gorillas. And then he's trying to figure out what he can do to almost tip the balance. Why is it that while he's as smart as a human, why is it he's treated differently? And then he eventually figures out a way how to progress things as well as gain freedom for himself. Now, Andy Serkis essentially is Caesar. That's the guy who's also Gollum from Lord of the Rings, as well as Smeagol and Capricorn and Inkheart. He's probably been in a couple other movies too, from what I've heard. Does a fantastic job giving life to the Caesar character. And as we're watching the movie, when certain scenes happen, you really do feel quite horrible for what is that the humans are doing to the animals, which is really bizarre. Because knowing that if they continue on with the film series, or if it's just a prequel to the previous Planet of the Apes, once the apes become in charge, they kind of treat the humans in the way that we treat the animals. So it does kind of make you think like that. Overall, it's actually a beautifully, beautifully done movie. James Franco did a really fantastic job acting. The love story aspect worked. The hyper-intelligent primate part of it worked really well. And aside from there being a trailer for Apollo 18, this was probably one of the best movies I've seen all summer long.